Are there any special issues I should be concerned about buying an older home? Hey everyone, this is Cheryl Morrison, your local Chicagoland real estate attorney, and today let's talk about owning and purchasing a older home. So if you are thinking about buying an older home, it can be an awesome choice for many reasons. Whether it's in a new neighborhood, or you like the style, or you want to have a project to rehab. There are really great reasons that you can choose an older home rather than a newer home. However, it is also important to be aware of some special issues that come along with purchasing an older home. And today let's talk about the issue of asbestos. Now, asbestos was widely used in the past. It was a great fire retardant and insulator, and it was used, in attics, on, pipes, under sinks, all sorts of your popcorn ceilings. It was in drywall, in vinyl tiles. Lots and lots of areas of the home could have had the asbestos in it. Unfortunately, later it was discovered that asbestos fibers are really easily inhaled, and when they are inhaled, they work their way into your lungs, and over time they cause severe lung disease and cancer, particularly mesothelioma, which is a really aggressive cancer. And because of these reasons, asbestos stopped being used and is now, not allowed to be used in most instances. So if you have a home that was built prior to 1980, it's something to think about. It was in the 70s where people started discovering these issues, and it started to come out of favor and then eventually be banned. So if you're buying a home, earlier than 1980, definitely if you're, 50s, 60s, 70s, and earlier than that, this is something to be thinking about. Now, interestingly, the asbestos just being there isn't necessarily dangerous. The danger happens when those fibers become airborne. So if your home has asbestos, but it's in an area that is undisturbed and it's not deteriorating, it isn't necessarily a problem. Of course, because these materials are very old at this point, it's likely that they are deteriorating or that they will soon be deteriorating and can cause you problems. So there's a few things to think about. First off, you definitely want to make sure that you are at least aware of this issue so that you can make smart decisions for you and your family. That starts with, knowing that it's possible that there is asbestos there, and then making sure that you really do a thorough inspection of the home so that you know where this material might be and what its condition is, and then you can use that information. So you want to make sure that if you are purchasing an older home, that you talk to your inspector about it. Tell them, hey, this home is older, I'm worried about asbestos. Where might we find that? Are you well versed in discovering it? Do you know a lot about it? Just have that conversation. Make sure you're picking someone who knows what they're doing and is going to do a very thorough job in investigating to make sure that if there is this issue, that we find it for you. From there, then, if there is asbestos discovered, then you have a decision to make whether or not that's a deal breaker for you and you want to walk away from the transaction, whether you want to have the asbestos remediated in some way, or if you're okay with it because its condition is fine and perhaps it's in the attic and you're not worried about it being disturbed or inhaled or anything like that. It's a very personal decision for you, but you need to know if it's there before you can get to that point. So let's talk about logistics from there. So like any other issue, sellers are not required by law to fix this. If they know it's there, they should be disclosing it to you. But if they don't know it's there and they, you know, if you tell them and you ask it to be fixed, there's no requirement that they do that. They can choose to fix it for you if you ask, if you negotiate that as part of your inspection contingencies, but they don't have to. If they do choose to do something about it or give you a credit, there's a couple different routes that you can go. You can either have it removed and remediated, or you can actually have it encapsulated. And that's basically sealing that area off. Because remember, the issue with asbestos is usually when those fibers get to be airborne. So if they seal it and encapsulate it such that those fibers cannot get out, they cannot be airborne, then that's what the industry says is safe then. So that isn't another route to go. It's actually, my understanding of it is that that's fairly common because it doesn't get disturbed at that point. And then, you know, it's safely tucked away and much cheaper and safer. So that's definitely something to consider. If you, let's see from here. So, you know, those are your two options to go forward. Now, what you need to worry about then, if you accept it, is just for your safety, to make sure that you're aware of how to handle it, how to treat it. You definitely don't want to be drilling into your drywall that has asbestos in it, or otherwise disturbing any of these things. If you do decide to buy this house and you know, take it as is and leave that asbestos there, you want to make sure that you know how to properly handle that. And again, it's just a matter of making sure that it's not disturbed, so that you know, that those particles don't become airborne, and that you keep an eye to make sure that if it does deteriorate, it's something you want to address sooner rather than later, because you absolutely do not want to end up in a situation where you know, you have had exposure to asbestos and get, you know, lung disease or mesothelioma. A totally separate note, I worked as an intern in Congress for a while, and actually one of my tasks was sitting in on all of the mesothelioma hearings, and it is a rotten disease. So this is definitely important. So I hope that this overview of one of the issues that you might encounter if you're purchasing an old home was helpful. If it was, do give it a like, share it with anyone else who might benefit from this knowledge, and please subscribe so you can continue seeing my videos. Thanks everyone, bye.